Alrighty, folks. So today's video is an awesome interview with a rock star agent attractor, Joel Johnson. There's a lot in store for you guys today. We'll talk a little bit more about his journey with agent attraction, what he's using specifically to scale up, his challenges, and all the questions you may be wondering about how to really scale up and attract more agents. Also got a lot of other insights from the man himself, where he sees the brokerage industry heading, cloud-based brokerage and everything. So. With that out of the way, Joel, you take the stage. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in the real estate industry for, and just in general, what you guys got going on at Icon. So, yeah, I'll let you take the
Sure.
stage.
Yeah, sounds good. So I got into real estate 3 years ago. Before that, I'm an engineer. So I worked globally in multiple different countries for oil and gas companies. Decided to leave engineering in 2020 and went all out in real estate and immediately moved to the city of Calgary here in Canada. Worked with one of the top teams in Canada, number three at our brokerage in the whole country, scale up to over 1,000 deals a year. And then after 2.5 years, I decided to leave that team, launch my own team now, which I run here in Alberta, spanning across Calgary and Edmonton. We have 8 agents on the team that I'm leading, and we're basically doing mainly new home sales, and then have scaled an organization into multiple countries. Over 50 agents there, taking on mainly top agents, over 300 years experience. So I'm leading that group as well. Yeah, we opened an office in Utah. So we have a 5,000 square foot office in Utah with our logo on it, downtown St. George. So we're going to use that as like our first headquarters for the US. And we're going to keep scaling into multiple different countries and just keep on bringing on heavy hitters. So that's kind of where we're at now. We're in growth mode.
I love it. I love it. And obviously, like just it's really impressive, just like getting in 3 years ago. I think some people they've been in for decades, and I think it really comes down to the vehicle. Take a look at Warren Buffett. He always says it's about the boat you row in, not how fast or how strong you row. And I think, for yourself, like I just think in the industry right now, obviously cloud-based brokerages are really where it's heading. And you're with EXP, I think, and there's like always new brokerages emerging consistently. And I think what's happening, what I see in the next little bit is like because it's obviously, increased competition, there has to be more innovation, right? And otherwise, competition just erode all the profit margins away. So that's why I see, I think a couple of new brokerages came out with a new tiered system, and then other brokerages will follow from that to innovate. So a lot of innovation is coming for the industry for sure, but I think also from purely an agent attraction standpoint, there needs to be a lot of innovation. I think the old way is it's hard. So, obviously, right now, you guys are scaling up, and I think you guys got a really good thing going on. Especially that I just hopped on a mastermind call with your network before this, and like, it's like it just like I've been with a lot of I've seen a lot of real estate teams and everything in the past, and it's just like the it's different now, right? I think the incentives are aligned, and everyone's really on a mission to win. So. Tell us a little bit more about like your organization in general. Like you guys are scaling across now countries and eventually continents and just scaling up. So tell us about like what really piqued your interest in getting into that model in the first place.
Yeah, for sure. So that's honestly the main reason I left engineering was when I seen the EXP in the cloud-based brokerage model. I was working on a project in Israel at the time. COVID came, had to move back to Canada from Texas, and couldn't go to Israel for work. So I came back to Alberta, and I seen the cloud-based brokerage model presented to me. At the time, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to get my real estate license and just buy investment properties," which I like to do. So I was going to stay an engineer and just get my license. As soon as I seen the cloud-based model and the opportunity for scalability and growth from it, it blew my mind. I left engineering immediately, did my license in about 30 days, and I joined the cloud-based brokerage EXP. I've been there ever since, 3 years. The biggest thing when I talk to agents and as we grow Icon's global network is we're not restricted by borders anymore, right? We can do whatever we want. We can go wherever we want into 20 plus countries, and we can think bigger and we can think differently. And much like what you do, Prav, is we can have that real online presence. So I work completely from my laptop. I can create a a referral based business strictly from my laptop in real estate. I don't show houses anymore. I don't run around with clients. If I can't do it from my laptop and work forever wherever I want, I'm not interested. So prime example is my team, landed a $50 million contract for condos in Cabo to sell these properties there. And we did that all through direct response ads, digital marketing, and got on a call with the president of the Mexican real estate board, who then hired us as his client to sell this project, right? So that's how we think bigger, and that's the capabilities of a cloud-based brokerage. Is I don't have to stay in Calgary or Edmonton anymore. I can be selling from my laptop and have everything housed in the back end, with the innovation and the technology. So there's no limits anymore.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's really just shifting from that agent to really more of an entrepreneur and like putting in systems. And I think that, and obviously, you have all the vehicles to take it. I think right now, obviously, a lot of brokerages are more like tech companies. Will just, that's what makes it all possible, right? Like talk
Mhm.
about Uber in the back in the day, right? Obviously, simple concept, but the tech made it come to life, and same thing with brokerages. So I think, that's obviously where it's headed. It's not a coincidence that the fastest growing brokerages right now worldwide are cloud based. So obviously, this is most people that watch this video and this channel, obviously you're already in cloud-based brokerages, but I thought I'd just, shed some light on why it's so important. And even myself too, like investing in cloud-based brokerages is obviously a smart thing to do. Now, obviously the big part of cloud-based brokerages, apart from, increasing your production, there are also revenue streams like agent attraction. And, for yourself, when did you really start honing in on agent attraction? Like there's a lot of potential here. When did you see that? And just start doubling down on, bringing more folks in, growing the mastermind, growing the network organization. When did you really double down on that?
Yeah, so I knew immediately I wanted to do it when I joined EXP 3 years ago. I actually attracted an agent my first week, and the thing that I realized is like I don't even know how to sell a house. So I kind of changed the mindset a little bit. I went out and I did 68 deals my first year just so I could show that I could do it. And then I was like a use case. And then after that, as I worked with the number 3 team in Canada at the time at EXP, which definitely helped with credibility. And then we launched a marketing company to figure out the ideal product that we wanted to have for our offer. So I kind of took steps along the way instead of diving right into agent attraction. So now I'm the Canadian leader for like EXP Young Professionals. There's 7,000 agents and I get to like open up Canada. So that all helped because I had credibility built up before that with sales and a track record. And the mindset, was always there that it was 100% like building an organization. But we really started to hone in this year, like basically just in January, we started to scale up. We kind of took a little bit of a break so I could launch our team in Alberta, New Homes, Alberta, but now it's 100% back to Icons Global Network. And we're all in on that now. So that's my 100% goal. I sit on sometimes 8 to 12 Zoom calls a day, just with agents. So.
I love it. Yeah, I think I've seen a trend amongst like even our clients as well as like, like obviously when you have the vehicle in place to bring in agents, you want to also get the teams in place, but then also, focus on the network. I think one of the clients, Sammy, he was talking about it. Like he literally moved to Toronto for a few months to build the whole team there because he was letting a lot of agents there that were partnering up with him. And he's like, well, let me build infrastructure here, build all the systems that can plug and play. And obviously, there's a lot of incentives there that are with the team model. But now he's also focusing on growing his network. So let's
Mhm.
talk about, particularly, attracting agents. Obviously, it's not an easy thing now because more network organizations, more cloud-based brokerages, more competition. And it's very hard to get that know, like, and trust. I think in the end of the day, as a business person, if I look at it, agent traction is really about selling an outcome, right? Because they're gonna pay you in one way, shape, form. Usually it's in the form of the commissions, not like an actual dollar amount. So they're really betting on, is this the right vehicle for me? So I would look at it from perspective of like if we are going to do agent traction, we have to market it and sell it like we are selling a good product, and the product becomes that partnership and the mastermind. In your case, Icon. So tell me a little bit more about the early days of agent traction. What did you have in mind? How did that work out? And yeah, let's start there.
Yeah, so I always knew from the beginning when I launched it that I needed to have some sort of product in place because every agent needs leads, right? So I wanted to make sure that there was some sort of system in place that I could help agents generate leads and scale their business. And that's one thing that I got really good at was, generating leads online when I was a new agent. I taught myself how to do it. And then, as I scaled up, I was like, okay, I need help. That's when I reached out to you guys probably a year and a half ago, right? I wanted to learn more about the digital side of digital marketing and scaling like agencies. And then from that standpoint, it's kind of shifted into, we've morphed into our whole, like a whole new product and offering now with, AI chatbots that like we were talking about on the mastermind that book all of our appointments for us. So it's all about what kind of value you can lead with, and what is in it for the agent, right? There's 1,000 masterminds out there in real estate. There's 1,000 different offers out there from join my group, join my group. But what differentiates us from everybody else? It's our skill set when they get inside from an offer and a product. And then it's also from a standpoint like we have 5 training calls a week, right? Like we have a mastermind, we have, a lot of different products inside. We have an in-house marketing teams. There's a lot more to it than just a bunch of agents hanging out, if that makes sense. So we've kind of built a business for agent attraction where we have an executive team as well, that calls all the shots for Icon. So
I love it. And I always look back at agent traction. And, if I look at like companies like, Ylopo, Sync, and Boomtown, yeah, sure, are lead gen firms and software companies. But like, if you look at it, they're really the biggest agent attractors out there. Not, they bring in thousands of agents that, the agents pay them obviously in the form of cash, but they know it best. And like, I look at myself example is like, we sold on over 1,000 plus clients in real estate. And we look at like the same process can be used for agent traction. That's when we hypothesize the whole digital product thing. So I think what you guys have is a really good offer, and a lot of people are obviously like it's like you give agents what they really want right now, especially as leads. Obviously, in the back end, you guys have a lot more mastermind assets in place. Sales training, mindset, accountability. But I think from a pure agent attraction standpoint, I think just for the listeners here, leading with a place of what do agents really want. Obviously, they don't need in the back end. On the back end, it's more accountability, sales training, mindset, a lot of different things. But every agent, at least in the beginning, they want leads. They think that's going to be the magic bullet. So I think definitely catering an agent traction strategy around that. So let's talk a little bit more about your digital product. Obviously, you guys talked about a little bit more the agency space, but agency digital product is very similar, just in the form of like you're helping out an agent, right? I would say that a agency is more done for you, and a digital product is more of a consulting related thing. So you obviously built it around online lead generation. Some people in our program build it around like new construction. Some people build it around mindset coaching. Everyone has their own skill set.
mm.
So you guys, when you guys launched this, right? What was the learning curve like? Was it pretty straightforward? Was it difficult? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, like that's why I have 2 business partners that are marketers that are at EXP with me as well. Because I focus on the big ticket items and closing agents, and basically I build the vision and they craft the offers on the back end. So I brought in support to do that. So I don't know how to run ads. I don't know how to do any of that. I'm not interested in learning. I close the agents and I build the vision. And then I have the people that help execute. So that's my role. So we have roles and responsibilities inside of Icon. So from a standpoint of getting it up and running, no, it was easy because I brought in the right people, but then also we had the right support, right? We had people we could tap into. Obviously, we were part of your mastermind, so there's people that we could tap into all the time. But no, it's not hard. I always tell people when you launch an offer, like I like to cater around like what is your superpower and like what are you really good at and how can you craft an offer around that. So I bring in agents like our superpower is new homes and online lead generation, right? We can crush new homes and we can crush online leads. So we build offers around that. Whereas other agents are really good at, relationships and, the sphere of influence and things like that. So build an offer around that, and train agents. So that's what we're doing inside of Icons is we have a whole suite of offers and products which are built around the agents that come in and their superpowers. So
I love it. And yeah, I think you touched upon a good point as well there with having a team. And like obviously right now we've adjusted our offer to be more done for you, which is like when you guys came, it was a lot more done with you, but now it's done for you. But I think yeah, your team is like awesome, like the rock stars. And I'm very similar to you in the sense that like I don't really know how to run ads. I'm not a techie guy in my business. In fact,
mhm,
we pay media buyers to set up our ads and everything. And I'm just the guy that sort of like says do this and like the visionary. I think
mhm.
that's really important. Now, you guys obviously, so digital product, the game is obviously, recoup the ad spend, make the profit. use that model to get people in, because that's really like if we run ads like, hey, join my downline, join my network organization, you're not going to get any person partnering. So you know, lead with a place of value. So your guys' place of value is the lead generation. That's your superpower. So you guys run ads, and then they book on your calendar. So walk me through that process. Like, obviously, let's talk about the sale and like how you make that, you know, the revenue there, but also talk about the agent traction piece. Where does that come in for you guys?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously we have a product and an offering. The biggest thing, like for my role, is I'm the closer on the back end. So I take them after they're vetted and screened. So after they put their hand up and say they're interested, they'll then go through a process, a funnel, and they'll go through somebody that's typically going to set the appointment and prime them up on what avenue they should go down. Like, are they interested in a cloud-based model? Or are they interested in an offer, right? And then from that standpoint, I usually am strictly closing them on icons and EXP and blowing up an organization for them. So the process is basically direct response ads or cold outreach or word of mouth through the agents that we already have in. I sit here and I close agents on joining a cloud-based brokerage because one thing that I'm big on is I think anybody can also run a mastermind. Anybody can, run ads for people, but it's what you're building a culture and a community inside that. And I'm a big believer that, people really need to know that you actually give a shit about them and that you actually care about them when they do join you. So I'm like a huge believer in like, we have an onboarding process. Like Joel will reach out and text you and make sure like everything's going okay. I'll send a video message to them and be like, hey, thanks so much for joining Icons. So that's our process. And that really helps with retention as well. And what I also do is I build people's downlines for them. I do not just stack people in my front line. I will sit there on calls and I will place people into people's downlines because then they're not going to want to leave if they start getting residual overrides from agents I put in. Obviously, they have to return and be bought into Icons. But I'm a big believer in building out other people's downline and helping them. We'll build the products and offerings. They just need to they need to contribute and buy into what we're building. So that's my
Love
main
it.
role.
I think what you just mentioned there is like it really is an agent attraction business, not just something you do on the side. I think a lot of people you can't really make it work if you're just sort of coming in and half-assing it. I think you got to treat it like a marketing, then the sales, and then even the client retention part of it is important. And you guys are running it really nicely there. Like you guys are really treating it like a business. And I want to take one step back. So like let's just say I come in, I see one of your guys' ads, like, look, agents, I can help you grow your business with AI lead generation. I book a call on your sales team's calendar. So you mentioned, like you guys will decide whether or not they would be a good fit for EXP right away, or you would sell them the product. Obviously, there's a mixture of both there. I think selling a product is important as well. Some brokerages don't even allow that. Some brokerages, there's a lot of rules. Anyways, like I want to talk about your process. So you guys come in, the agent books on the calendar. And what is that process to determine whether or not someone will be a good fit to partner up at Icons or someone be a good fit to buy the offer first? How do you guys distinguish between that?
Yeah, for sure. So we have the marketing company that's totally separate, right? So the marketing company is basically running itself. But if they're an agent and they're open-minded and they're willing to learn more and learn more about what EXP is, I'll gladly talk about it. But we're the main leading thing is like, hey, we have our offer. How can we help you from our marketing company side? And then, if we bring up, that we're at EXP and they're willing to like make a switch or whatever, right? But we're kind of like we're vetting them kind of quite a bit, right? Because I do not let anybody into icons. I'm very selective on who gets in. I think that's a great way to grow an organization as well as like don't bring any bad apples in at the beginning and be selective, and then you're going to scale much faster if you only find killers and like heavy hitters, right? So I interview everybody, to be honest. Everybody goes through me before they get into icons. And then I give the green light or not. So there is that pre-vetting process. How long have they been licensed? How many deals have they done? And then we can figure out if we could help them with a digital marketing company or if we could help them scale their business at a cloud-based brokerage. But no newbies are allowed at Icons. That's my number one rule is no new agents.
I love it. I think, yeah, like that digital product marketing, when you guys are bringing agents, it serves as like a cultivation ground. And now you get to now pick and choose the A players. And I think that's really important. And I think, on average, like right now with you guys, if someone books on the call, right, and like I'm on your guys' calendar, right? And let's say I'm like I'm doing quite well for myself. I like, like, hey, like how much is your guys' solution? The salesperson takes the call, right? And then will they say like, hey, look, I would love for you to speak to Joel, or are they trying to close right there for that digital product? Like, what's that process look like for you guys?
They'll usually send them to me if they think they're a fit for icons, they'll just send them right to me.
Okay,
I don't really have anybody else talk about icons or the vision of it. I'm the one that leads that, and I explain the vision. So if anybody thinks they're a good fit and they start asking about EXP or what we're building, then they come to me, and then I do the closing there. It's usually a 1 or 2 call close. They're usually primed up and interested already before they get onto my calendar. So like today, I think I sent out in the last 2 days 4 joint applications for EXP, both all 1 call closes, just because I know the vision and I can really understand what the agents are looking for. And then once I show them what we have built on the back end with our systems and our product and our offering, it usually doesn't take much. So it's pretty
love
easy.
it. Love it, love it. So yeah, like basically, yeah, I understand your whole process now on the front end, and obviously, like when they let's just say like they maybe aren't a fit, you guys sort of cultivate them in that digital product side. I think you guys have your team members, Josh, as well helping you, and then you help them get to that point where they could be a potential fit for Icon. So you guys are definitely keeping that quality super high. And on average, like how much? Like how many agents are you guys speaking to on a weekly basis right now for the ads? Like your guys' funnels are up, and how many agents are on average booking per day?
I think last week I had 35 to 40 calls. I was on Zoom calls, so my calendar is pretty packed, right? I think I have 4 calls today. Today's a slower day, but usually minimum 4 to 8 calls a day is I'm usually talking to prospective people that are interested in icons, right? So
Mm.
yeah, we can pack a calendar. There's no problem with that. It's just whether we think they're a good fit or not. That's the biggest thing.
Definitely. So, and then like the digital product, obviously the salespeople are selling the digital product, or the marketing, and like let's say there's 8 calls on a calendar. How many of them realistically would be then referred to you to talk about the partnership opportunity? Like, is there like a 20% conversion, 30%? Like, how does that look like? And like,
Yeah,
how many
that's a
calls
good
are you guys
question.
getting from that complete funnel, like from your ads that you guys are running for like the digital product? How many
Mhm.
of those people are coming to speak to you directly without even buying the digital product about agent attraction?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't have an answer for that. I stay in my lane, and I just close them for icons. I'd have to look up we have ASAP have like the appointment setter, right? I don't really check his calendar. So he's also works with us, but I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
No, I mean, yeah, like just in general, like, would you guys say like you guys get a fair chunk of people to just through that funnel? Like someone comes on the sales team calendar, they're like, hey, look, I think you'd be a great fit to talk to Joel personally, and like about icons. Like, do you guys have a fair chunk of people coming in like that?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's definitely over 50% for sure. As
Love
soon
it.
as we explain what we're doing, yeah.
That's huge. That's huge. Now let's talk about obviously, like I think I'm all for agent attraction and like, building the compounding asset. I think obviously that's why people watch these videos. But there is obviously a nice little potential to build nice income for yourself, with the digital product. I know last month we had a match with one of our clients, Will. He had 300 grand in cash collected, which is obviously some nice money to have on the side. At the same time, you're agent attracting. So maybe like in the beginning when you guys started and you guys actually were collecting revenue from the digital product, like
Hmm.
what was that? I think you guys had like a 30K a month, or what was like the big revenue numbers? I know right now you guys have now altered your strategy a little bit, which is obviously working great for you guys because our number one goal is agent attraction, which is working great. 50% of the demos are coming. But like, what was like that revenue? Like, let's say you're just only selling the digital product. What was like that like when you guys were just like, the ramp up period was like the biggest month you guys hit?
Yeah, so we got up, I think, into the 40,000 mark when we were ramping up there, like when we were new, like just trying to learn like what was going on. And then it kind of, trying to figure out the fulfillment and then running multiple things and getting sidetracked. That was our biggest thing when you're an agent and you're trying to do that. So probably around that mark there when we're at like around 40, was probably our biggest month. But I still, run a team of agents, right? So we have income coming in there. We take 25% from all of our agents. And then we obviously have the revenue share from the agents as well. So it varies every single month. We're actually working on bringing out new products right now. We're big into AI. So we're actually working on new offers and products right now. That will be a game changer so that not only can we push out to icons, but help other agents. The biggest thing that, I always say is like how much value can we create by what we have, and people are going to naturally come to us. Like, I don't care where they're at, what brokerage they're at. If we can just give them value, we're not out there rah recruiting. It's actually not allowed inside of Icons. Nobody's allowed to run ads. Nobody's allowed to cold call. It's against our agent agreement. We just want to lead with value, and if people decide they want to join us, they're welcome to come in if they're a good fit. So there's no cold outreach uh like pushing it down people's throats. Basically, it's like we will attract by having a ton of value, and we'll attract by having really good people that people are just going to want to come join us. So we have a different mindset.
I love it. And I think that's exactly how it should be. Just, leading with value and, like it's that reciprocal altruism there. And I think one thing that I really learned from you is just like that quality over the quantity piece. Cause like some people obsess so much over like, oh, I just want to have people again. And I just want to get my front line up to this point. But it's like really about having the right people in. And cause like the sales team, or the team in general, it's only as good as the weakest link. And I think, with you guys have really built a good cultivation ground. And I think one thing is just having numbers and one thing is having actually producing folks. And I think that's one thing I learned as well from another client, Will, which is like he uses like his digital product, like the funnel and everything to bring in and grow his network. And typically when you have abundance of agents to choose from, you can pick and choose. And he's like, I used to have a lot of people in the past and now he has less, but they're producing more. And that's what you ideally want. And yeah, so in terms of agent attraction, how many agents are you guys on average from like the digital product funnel? I mean, right now, you guys are just about 50% of demos are pretty much coming in, speaking to you. And you guys are actually turning away quite a few people. When they do get turned away, what's that conversation look like? Hey, like right now you're not a fit for icons, but we recommend you do this. Like what do you guys say to them?
Yeah, so if they're a newbie or they just got licensed or they're 1 or 2 years in, like it's like, hey, go get some experience on your belt. Like, no offense to agents, most fail in the first 3 years. So if an agent can't make it to the 3 year mark, like I don't want to sit around and wait and see if they're gonna make it or not. Because I have a different mindset. It's like I want everybody inside of Icons to be able to icon, which is the word at EXP where you hit certain production requirements. So if everybody can cap and hit icon status, we're going to maximize the overrides and the revenue share. There's going to be less overhead expenses for the brokerage, which will only help the brokerage. Less quality agents overtaking everybody and trying to service everybody and see if they'll make it 3 years. I have a different mindset around that. And when you attract like attracts like, right? So if I bring in a bunch of killers, brokerage owners and, team leads and people that have been in the industry for 25, 30 years experience, which we have, they're going to go want to tell people that have also been in the industry for 25 and 30 years that, this mastermind and like these calls that Joel puts on 5 days a week, like we get so much value from them. It's only going to just start growing itself then, right? So kind of ironic. I'm 3 years licensed, and a lot of people are more. I think I'm probably one of the newbies, right? But it's just that we have so much value that it doesn't matter anymore. They're just attracted to value, and then obviously the opportunities that the brokerage brings as well. So
100%. I love what you just said there. And, like how many ballpark, like obviously, like you're pretty much focused on the highest leverage activity, which is that agent attraction piece of bringing the right A players in.
yeah.
Like how many folks are you guys on average bringing in on a weekly, monthly basis? I would say directly from sort of like the funnels you're running for that, digital product side. Like obviously, like you had mentioned earlier, like you're not always selling the digital product because you're just getting a good conversion into the agents directly partnership with you. But like
Mhm.
from that funnel, how many are you guys bringing in on average per month from that?
Mhm. Yeah, so right now in July, I think I got like 12 in the queue just in July that we should bring over in the month. And that's just from really just starting to ramp up again, right? So my goal is a minimum like 10 a month right now, just from like me closing that are bringing in. So that would be obviously 120 a year, which I definitely think we could do. And we haven't even really scaled yet, right? We had some big distractions. But I think there's no reason why I can't bring in a minimum of 10 a month. Once I explain the vision and what we're actually building on the back end, it's kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. So
Yeah, I think you guys got a great thing going, and obviously, like the one way you guys are really filling your calendar is with the ads. And right now, like, how do you guys recoup? Like, so obviously, when it comes to agent traction, it can be expensive, and that's why we say like sell a digital product to recoup that, right? Because then you can, like that's like pretty much what Will does, and I love your guys' strategy. Because one thing is like you guys attract right on the front end before they buy any digital product. There's also another piece when they maybe buy it and on the back end as well, they then reach out to you, which is going to be a byproduct. I think Will brings in one or two a month naturally without even asking them. They just reach out to him. But
Yeah.
for you guys, like how are you guys recouping that ad spend? Because obviously, if you're packing your calendars, it costs money to get agents to book, right? So are you guys like sort of like, saying like, look, we'll recoup this in the next month or two, or are you guys selling some digital product sales to recoup some of that back? Like, what's your guys' process there
Yeah,
to
that's a
fund
good
the
point.
funnel?
Yeah, yeah. So obviously we sell homes too. We have our team that sells houses, so that definitely helps. We have New Homes Alberta. And then yeah, like we have a membership fee to join Icons. It's small, but it covers costs for that. Just because we want people to buy in, like if we're covering a lot of software charges and stuff. So we have a small membership fee to join us. And then yeah, like we have our marketing company as well. So everything comes from the marketing company, where we'll have, residual from that and we'll have an offer, a product. So it basically gets funded from our marketing company and then from our home sales. And then if agents think that EXP is a good fit, like we don't lead with EXP ever. Like it's not like, hey, we're pitching EXP. It's like, how can we help you guys with our marketing? And then if we think it's a good fit, then we'll drive them in, right? But we have multiple different ways to cover the revenue. That's
Nice,
not really
nice. Yeah, I think that's definitely something that people always ask, like, well, because I know I ran ads, spent like probably $3 million of my own money on ads, and it's
Mhm.
obviously expensive to get agents, and like one of the ways that we recouped our marketing budget was just selling the digital product, right? But
Mhm.
yeah, like seems like that's awesome. So, um, now like I have one, maybe three or four more questions here.
Sure.
And obviously as you're running ads, you're only running them in Canada, right?
Yeah, we can do in the US too, but yeah, we'll do both.
Okay.
It just all depends because we have partners in the US, right, that can help us sell our products.
Okay,
So,
okay. So when you guys are running these ads, right? Like, do you just get people reaching out to you like, "Hey, look, I see your ads all the time. Like I don't know what you're doing, but I want in on it." Like, do you just have that kind of effect coming in, like that word of mouth of other agents? Because like obviously when you're running ads, you're positioning yourself as an expert. People know, like, trust, and look up to you. That's one of the big key components required for agent attraction anyways. So how have
mhm.
you seen that work for you, like in terms of a branding perspective, like when you're running ads all across Canada, do agents just come and run into you or reach out to you, send you DM like, "Hey Joel, like I want to partner up at Icons." Like, are you having that kind of effect already?
Yeah, it's definitely coming already. Like, I think that's the biggest thing that I've noticed probably in the last month is like I'm not very big on social media, right? Like I'm kind of like a guy that's behind the scenes. Most people don't even know what I do, but there's still people that reach out, right? And like there's still like I get calls, every week about people asking for help and like how do we do this? Just because they know that I used to sell quite a bit of real estate and then we had a lot of good things going with our marketing company. So yeah, they're reaching out, they're asking for help, but I'm not really somebody that's like interested in small talk or somebody that's like interested in just somebody having to pick my brain. So I'm very particular if somebody does call me, like they need to have some sort of purpose behind it. What value are they going to bring to me, right? Like I'm not just hopping on random calls with agents that just want to, try to find the silver bullet because they're too lazy to put in the work. So it's kind of just setting boundaries. But yeah, it's definitely starting to happen, but I'm limiting who I talk to.
Got
So.
it, got it. And I think a lot of people ask this question to me as well, right? It's like give me like an example of like one of the funnels that we teach as well, age attraction, is like that set up a digital product, get agents to book with you, lead from a place of value. And obviously right now from what I'm seeing, you guys are having some great success and just pivoting a lot of the demos into your calendar right away, which is a big driver. Like, can you just give example of like what that would look like? Let's say I know I already asked the question, but I wanted like a maybe example. It's even for our clients, they watch these interviews. So like if I'm book on your calendar and you're like the salesperson, right? Because now you've got this outsource, right?
Mhm.
And I'm like, you qualify me. I'm like, hey, like, look, Mr. Salesperson, I'm like, a top producer. I've been in the game for 20 plus years. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. What does a salesperson say? Like, hey, I think, dude, you'd be a good fit to talk to Joel directly. Like, what does that process look like? Because that's like your number one, that's like a big key driver for agent traction for you guys, right? So what does that look
Yeah.
like?
Well, not every agent needs help with lead generation, right? Like some agents that we talk to, like they need help with different things outside of just like, generating leads. Some of the agents that come into Icons, They already have a great book of business, right? They're already crushing it, but they're just needing, an extra kick. They want to get in a room with a bigger hitter or people that think differently, right? So it's not all about the digital product sometimes and like how we could help scale with ads. Like, yeah, that's one component of it. But the biggest thing is how we can get them surrounded by other people that think differently, right? And get into that mastermind with not that big charge that most masterminds cost, right?
Mhm.
So we have that top agent, community where we can funnel things off each other. We got group chats with each other. We got 5 calls a week. So a lot of the people are coming in to join the community. And then the byproduct is, hey, we can blow you up with ads and lead generation if that's what you want. So if an agent comes in and they just need help with ads or leads, like sure, our marketing company can help them and we can, set up their ads for them. But if they're looking for the whole picture and a full product suite and support and mentorship, and like they're kind of saying that, I was like, hey, maybe you should talk to Joel and he can explain the big vision of how we could really take this to the next level. Because everybody can run Facebook ads, but they're just Facebook ads, right? It's what happens after the ad. Like, what does the follow-up look like? Do you want access to our AI bots? Do you want access to our systems and our processes? In order to get that, icons is probably a better fit for you, and we can talk about icons then. But the biggest thing is I am not pushy, and I do not beg people to join, and I do not chase people to join. Like I basically say, this is invite only. I think you're a good fit. If you want in, this is your opportunity. If not, I'm just gonna go find somebody else. Like I'm not
Mm.
gonna call you in 6 months to join icons. This is not like me recruiting. It's like, hey, this is what we have to offer. Hop on board. We're growing quick. If you want to get in now, and if not, okay,
I,
you might miss the boat. And I'm not going to ask you if you say no now.
and I think that's like the true definition of actual agent attraction. Because like a lot of people just chase, right? And like they'll wait, like they'll spend 2 years trying to get someone to come over. But it's like that just means there's an absence of value. And when you guys are leading with the value, agents are coming, booking themselves on your calendar. You can
Yeah.
do that. And like I probably had two more questions here. Like, so obviously, like, when you guys sold digital product and the marketing company, you call it marketing company, very similar, digital product, same funnel.
Yeah.
Um, on the back end, when they buy the thing, right? Let's say they're not a fit to join icons right away. Is there a
Mhm.
conversation that maybe one of your team members says, like, hey, look, like you get success with us. Like, do you want to hear a little bit more about how Joel can help you even more? Like, is there like a process in place for that, or do they just reach out on their own?
Yeah, so there is a process. Like if they're getting success with our products and then they feel like they want to like jump on board and get the full product suite, because obviously our offer can just be ads and Facebook ads, for example. Funnel them into a CRM system. We can set them up with an ISA. But if they're kind of like, wanting more, then yeah, we can decide further down the line if they don't want to keep paying us like a done with you system. If they kind of want to come in and learn from us more, then yeah, we'll definitely have that conversation. But we're not actively like hounding them to join. It's like, if they see the value in it, like, yeah, let's make the transition, but they got to be a good fit. Like, no ego. If anybody has an ego, I kick them out. Anything like that, no bad apples, or they're just gone. So we have to, it's almost a good way to screen them as well, having a work with them before they join too.
So, and okay, so right now, you guys said, like, how do you guys intend on scaling the agent attraction piece? So obviously, like scaling ad spend's a big one to that digital product, right? But like obviously you wear a cap now too. You can probably take on 10 or 12 calls a day, right? Max, and that's also that's a lot. So like how do you intend on scaling that piece? Like obviously like there's that piece of like, for example, salespeople on the front end selling the digital product or marketing solution, and they're
Mhm.
funneling and filling your calendar right away. And there's also going to be a piece that maybe the people that buy the marketing solution or the digital product, they're going to be also like, hey, like, do you want to stop paying us? We can take it to the next level. And like, there's that piece. So like, where are you guys at right now? Where do you guys want to get to? What's like the level? How do you guys intend to get there?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, go find 10 more of me. Um, that's probably the best way to go. And I asked a lady that runs a big organization, what's the fastest way to get from to where you're at? Because I look up to her and she said, just go find 10 more Joels, right? So that's kind of what I'm working on right now is if I could go clone people to see the vision and be able to explain it in the same context that I can, it's going to take a lot off my plate, right? And then it'll be a lot more word of mouth. So that's why we have an executive team and we basically have people that think like I do. We have agents that produce, and then we have agents that are treat it more like a business, right?
And
How we actually grow this thing.
And I think, like obviously like everyone does it differently. And I've seen some people in our program, they've got into like for example, I think Sammy was talking about this. So obviously you guys have done really well with your digital product. You guys have scaled up. It's working. Agent traction piece is validated. What he's done now is he's saying, like, can I get my top guys that work with me and can I help them build the digital product?
Mhm.
Because now that's like you're creating another Joel. And I always looked back at it from the affiliate marketing industry, go high level. There's a guy that earns millions of dollars a year. I think his name is Dominic Baptist. And his thing was he became the fastest grossing affiliate for go high level in a very short period of time. And his strategy was, well, I did it. How can I create more Dominic Baptist? Now, the thing to consider here is that you gotta maintain quality. You gotta maintain, make sure the performance is good. But do you see yourself? Is that what you were sort of referring to? Like, can I create more Joels? Can I help them create their own digital product? Is that what you were thinking about?
Yeah, that's exactly what we can do is they can bundle their superpowers and then we can use that as a product, right? So what they're good at, they can also push out whatever we're good at. And I'm really confident in saying I don't like I've been here for 3 years. I don't know another organization that can adapt and shift as quickly as we can. We have three online marketers that are licensed in our organization that could launch ads in no time and have things up and running, right? So from building funnels, launching ads, building offers. We have it in house. Like two of them are in the office right next door here, right? And from anything AI related, we build out our own AI bots or AI calling systems. We have our own SEO ranking system for our website ranks number one in Alberta after 6 months because we have an AI SEO ranking tool. So like we
Nice.
can really take that to the next level. And that's what we show agents is we can bundle this all together. You guys don't have to do it, but just push it and explain the vision. But don't reinvent the wheel. We already have the wheel invented. Just leverage our resources and our in-house stuff, and then they can start doing what I'm doing, right? And that's how it's going to grow on steroids. Is
Literally,
they're
yeah.
pushing out the same vision.
And like, do you ever see yourself like this is from a pure entrepreneurial perspective? Obviously you've done really well, and like let's just say you're helping your agents, that some of the top folks maybe launch their own digital product offering and use that as an agent attraction piece, help more agents in the end of the day as part of the Icons network as well. Um, Obviously there's a lot of network effects there, which is that's why these things work so well. But do you see yourself like maybe taking equity in their business and scaling that? Like, do you see yourself as another revenue stream for yourself? Because you got the team, like you got like I think Josh, you got some rock stars, and do you guys see yourself like investing from a pure business standpoint, interactions aside, do you see yourself launching like another digital product with your client or with your agent? Like, do you see yourself doing that?
Yeah, so the thing is like I have a ton of different ideas and I think I shared this with you before is I actually bought the domain agentattractor.io a year and a half ago and I was going to launch this exact same offer that you have. You just beat me to the punch and you have agentattraction.io. So I have a lot of ideas and vision. And we can do that. I think it just comes back to not getting too distracted, right? We don't want to have too many things going on. We find that we get pulled in a lot of different directions from people wanting our help to scale and like you're even offered equity in companies and things like that, right? Where, hey, can you guys come in? We're going to pay you this much and we'll give you 25, 50% of the company. And if you guys can just help us take it to the next level. And it's like learning to say no sometimes to those things. So yes, maybe eventually, but when we have like already, I have four different companies in my name or four different, things that I work on, an investment company and then New Homes Alberta, then Icons, and then another company, Agent Partners. So there's a lot of different things where we're having to
Yeah.
pick the biggest, highest ROI thing. So eventually, yeah, right now, we're trying to focus on just my goal is Icons Global Network and how can we find the best people possible to join us. So
Love it. Yeah, it's basically if it's already working, just do more. So, um,
yeah.
I love it. And yeah, so probably the last one question here. So you guys have obviously done well. We talked a little bit more, a lot in the in this interview about like where you guys are at, how many agents you're bringing in, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Like, what's your biggest tip for any person looking to attract more agents? Uh, what's that biggest tip for you? What's your words of wisdom?
Lead with value. That's the number one thing. And agents need to know that you actually care about them, right? That's the biggest thing. If you lead with value and actually care about them, they're going to be much likelier because we can bring in as many agents as we want into the company, but if we can't retain them because they feel like we don't give a shit about them, we don't care, and they're just a number. They're just going to leave, right? And agents are going to come and go constantly, no matter what brokerage you're at. It doesn't matter what brokerage we're at. We could be at any cloud-based brokerage right now building the exact same thing out. Agents will leave and come back and join us because we know that we have so much value. So we lead with what I think is one of the best products out there for an agent to scale their business up quickly. So if you have value, you have to lead with value, and don't get so caught up in what everybody else is doing either. There's always going to be some competitor, somebody trying to rip off what you're doing, or a new brokerage model is going to pop up. It doesn't matter as long as what you're internally building has a ton of value and the agents feel like they're, part of something bigger. They're gonna want to stay. So
100%. I think, yeah, you touched on a lot of points there, just in general, like, you can take this model to any other brokerage. And, the key is like, I think one thing I really appreciate and like learn from you guys is like, it's not just really about the numbers, it's about bringing the right folks in. And like, right now that's what you guys are doing. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. This is an awesome interview. I really appreciate it. If anyone's sort of on the fence to work with our team, what would you recommend them?
yeah, just you got to take action. I think that's the biggest thing. Like if I would have just kept selling homes, I never would have been in this position, right? Where I can have time freedom and work from my laptop and just give back and help agents, right? Like I love helping agents. So if you're gonna go down that route, you got to take action. You got to dive in. You got to get support. You got to get mentorship, and you got to surround yourself with people that have a skill set that's either better than you or different than you, or that can complement you. So
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I appreciate the time and the wisdom, Joel. It's always great talking to you, and thank you so much. And we'll connect soon. See you.
yeah, right on. Thanks, man.